Just a little bit of the Japanese gameplay of Valkyria Chronicles 4, celebrating Japan's launch day today. So let's...
Actually, I think was it Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's out there.
Yeah,
so
it's out.
We wanted to just go ahead and commemorate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's rock.
So yeah, this is actually this is an early mission. People who, if you've seen any footage of the Japanese demo, this is one of those missions. But this is an interesting part because it's a spot where the main characters are they're trying to assault a fortress here. The first half of the mission involves the outskirts of the fortress, and here they are in a sort of pinch. They have to go through the middle bridge section, but there are these nasty artillery jerks over here who are making their life difficult. And in fact, if I take one of our scouts here and try to
they're basically just trying to funnel you down there, so
yeah, you definitely have to come up through the center here, and up there there is support. Oh yeah, this is not good. That's not good. That's so that's a demonstration of what we are dealing with here in this part of the mission. So I will get myself some healing here. And get somewhere safe and end my turn.
For those of you who might not know, with Valkyria Chronicles 4 version, we do have a new class.
Yes.
But it's not on the field.
It's not on the field quite yet. And in fact, that's actually turning out to be a problem for our heroes here. Raz, the shock trooper, is that's not even gonna work. That's a terrible idea. So
yeah, shock trooper is kind of shorter range.
Yeah. But... And now, technically, the lancers over there and the snipers, they can deal with the artillery, but the best way to deal with it is this upcoming new class. So, Raz here is saying, like, we can't do anything about this. Even Claude, the leader, is having some issues here. And just then, a mysterious character appears here and says, well, it looks like you're in a bit of a fix, Cinderella.
Ooh.
And Raz is like, Cinderella? What's this fairy tale crap, you know? Well, I'd love to make it to the royal ball, says Claude, but I'm afraid my pumpkin carriage is out of commission. And Raz, of course, is like, have you lost your mind,
He's
Claude?
playing along with it.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I guess I'll have to wave a magic wand. He's like, a magic wand. Well, that would be wonderful if we could get one right about now. And reinforcements have arrived. The reinforcements are this mysterious new icon, the Grenadier.
Cool.
Yes, a new class in Valkyria Chronicles 4.
Oh yeah, real quick question.
Sure.
So we have a question from someone online. Will the Western version be dubbed?
Yes, we will have a full English dub as well as Japanese voices for those who prefer those. And so, and I'm really excited to. It's still localization is still in process right now. We're still working out getting all the assets into the game, but the dub is looking really good, and I can't wait until we can show this off to everyone.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have more to come.
And in fact, we get a tutorial here about Grenadiers. Grenadiers are sort of long-distance mortar-carrying classes. So they have a whole setup where sometimes you are moving them around, sometimes you are planted in one spot like she is right now.
Yeah, she herself kind of is carrying a lot of stuff, so a little bit burdened
yeah.
there.
And she can pack it up pretty fast, but to set herself up, she does need to take a little time. And so if you're under fire right now, all this animation time, the animation looks really cool, but she can't.
She's kind of exposed, and she can get hurt if she's not behind cover. Yeah.
And so the one thing is that Grenadiers are good as sort of a long distance support class, but of course then if you don't have the lay of the land mapped out, they're still in like a fog of war situation. So it helps to have if the enemies aren't exposed like they are for these artilleries, it helps to have the say something like the scouts rush in and like map out the enemies for you, and then duck behind cover while the grenadiers come and clean things up from afar.
So you do kind of have to rely on the breadth of your team and everybody's specialty, so that way, you know, if she can't see something, make sure you get somebody out there to check out the land and take them out.
Yep. And so here, the glowing red circle here, if you look down, there's a that's the area of where the shot will land, and hopefully it's close to the center here, but right
see if we
here,
can do it.
Yeah, we should be able to.
Nice.
Close enough.
Okay.
Here we go. Yes, and so that is Riley Miller, one of our major characters in the game, in fact. And
I love her outfit.
it's pretty wild.
She's very commanding too, with her whole setup of those artillery units.
And then here's Kai the sniper. She is also a major character, and she is the coolest. Well, in my opinion.
Oh, by the way, really quick sound check.
Sure.
I think someone's saying we have audio desync. Do
no.
we sound okay over there?
That's not a good idea.
Ooh, and we got our sniper now.
Yep. That guy is out and exposed, which is a bad move on his part.
Yep.
She is known as the one-shot killer, but even so, this is kind of far away, so I don't know if this is going to make it, but it's worth trying it. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Her potential kicked in. One-shot killer. Accuracy is way up, and he is gone.
Excellent.
So.
I love her.
We all do.
She's the tough girl. I like it a lot.
Got that cool poncho, camo.
Let me see if I can fix our bit of a delay.
So the fun part about the Grenadiers is that when they're aiming, they do have this zoom the camera up in the sky crane effect, which gives you a new perspective on the battlefield. Okay, that one was slightly off center, so she didn't quite get him. But Lancer can finish him off. This is the English name is Jean, and she is a cool Lancer, sort of a muscle girl. But she missed. It happens. It's okay, Jean. One command point left, so I will bring Riley out one more time. I hit the wrong button. We'll do that next turn.
Sorry for being a little distracted.
That's
for
okay.
a moment,
That's okay.
Trying to fix it.
Explaining reinforcements.
Okay, I think we got it now.
Excellent.
Thank you to our tech team. Okay, let's see, I think that should, wonder if is that better?
Oh no, Riley, no!
Oh no! Disaster!
Yep. Fortunately, I don't think Riley has any interception fire
okay, well, maybe we got
or
some
counterattack
shock
counterattack capabilities, so. Fortunately, it's an early mission, so she's probably okay. Oh, but she does have interception fire for that guy.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
kind of.
She's under pressure a little bit.
Yep.
But it's okay, she made it through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an early mission, so the pressure is pretty low. I can be a little slack in my defense, but the as the missions go on, it starts to ratchet up the tension really fast.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I want to say thanks to Sega Man 1989 pre-ordering the game. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You guys can pre-order the game now. Just check it on the website.
You're going down.
And that is available on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Thank you, Raz, for jumping in there. That's what I like to see. Support from my friends. Oh, I think a guy. That's right. That guy's still alive. Okay.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Alright.
In VC4, do you have to restock your grenades like you did in VC1?
Yeah, you do have to. They do have a limited number. So some, like the Lancers and the Grenadiers, have a limited number of bullets.
Mortars.
So she has, mortars. So she has one left there, and of course they go up one every phase.
turn.
Yeah. So others like the what do you call them? The rifles and the automatic, the machine guns. Those are basically unlimited fire.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah, another good question. Do you need to know any of the previous installments of Valkyria Chronicles in order to get into this one?
Nope, this is a standalone story. It is set during the same time as Valkyria Chronicles 1, and there are a few little connections that will ring true for the fans for sure when they see that. But there is no. It's just sort of things you hear about the progress of the war. You're like, oh, I remember that. That was when,
Oh, cool. So a
So-
little bit of hints to
Yeah.
the old games.
In fact, just before this mission, the main characters, who are from Gallia, which was the setting of the first game, they got word that the Empire had just invaded Gallia, which itself
Oh.
was the beginning of
right.
VC1.
So they're kind of like parallel stories going on at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Claude?
Yeah, Claude is from Gallia, as are a lot of the main characters in this squad. That's why it's sort of called the Gallian Squad of the Federation. He is he was kind of a coward when he was a young kid, but he basically went into deep meditation, became almost kind of an ascetic, stared at the sky for years and years, and then he finally learned what it was to grow and become more of a competent commander.
Oh,
But not
wow.
everyone trusts him. Like
It's a little bit of like self introspection and reflection.
yeah. But it takes a while for people to really trust that he knows what he's doing. Of course.
What I really love about the Valkyria Chronicles, series is basically, not only is it strategic, but the character development is just, it's so robust.
Yeah.
Not only do you have your main characters that you can kind of get to know a lot more, but you also have like the more minor characters.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of backstory too, and also like their potentials, and then a little bit of their what do you call the opposite of the potential? Like your
Those are also potential. See, this is a positive potential where it's all like blue and happy and positive, but there's also the ones that come up more
the
kind
negative
of
potentials.
red, orange, or purple. Those are essentially the negative potentials. Well, so those are facets of each character's personality. So they can be things like, allergic to grass, or doesn't like tanks. So when they're near a tank, they're like,
They freak out,
Yeah.
and they perform a little bit more poorly in
Yeah.
battle.
Defense or accuracy might go down. So these are all little quirks that sort of bring the characters more to life.
Yeah, it makes it really interesting, and not only that, but you can kind of craft, the teammates that you want per mission.
Yep. Yeah, you can sort of, and the more you use them, then the better, the better they get, and then you also eventually get to unlock like little side stories, some bonus stories for each of the sub characters, where you learn a little bit more about them, and they do a little tiny bit of character growth.
I love it.
So some of their bad potentials turn into happy ones.
Let's see. Okay, some more questions here. How's the mission selection this time? From a book like on Valkyria Chronicles 1, or map-based like Valkyria Chronicles 3?
It is out of a book. It's actually sort of Claude's or it's meant to signify Claude's like war journal. So it is the return of book mode. You're turning the pages in the book.
But out of Claude's journal this
yep,
time.
with pictures taken by Miles, his trusty tank commander. Here's Claude's tank. In fact, this is the Hafen, which is the new tank that symbolizes our Federation heroes. But right now, there's something blocking the way.
It says, I already love Kai and Raz. Yes,
oh,
definitely
yes,
right there with you.
They are they have some good rapport. They are childhood friends who give each other a lot of crap. Let's see this. Nice. Good job, Miles. You're the best. Alright.
Max Thunder on YouTube says, are there any plans for special edition, such as Steelbox variation for VC4? I would say keep an eye out. We might have more news about that soon. And then Nightwolf plays saying, so pumped for this game coming out. When does it come out in the States? We're looking at fall this year.
Still in the middle of localization, but
That's
it's going well.
Thanks, guys, for keeping an eye out on the audio. I hope that sounds a lot better now.
Getting some of these artillery out. So, of course, she has a little call out because she's low on hit points because I was
taking fire.
Yes, taking fire and kind of distracted last turn.
Have someone come and heal.
Yep.
So Sonic Kick says, I'm confused.
Oh,
how do you play this game?
Okay, so it's a unique kind of system. So right now we are in sort of a third-person action mode, but it's kind of it's not fully action. Like if you press R1 to aim, then the action stops and you have time to aim perfectly. And then once you're done, so there's during the action mode there's your action points at the bottom of the screen, and as you move,
it depletes.
It depletes, yeah. And then every time you finish a character's turn, like that, then it zooms back out to the tactical map. So it's a mix of tactical, like overhead, positioning and combat, with a little bit of third-person action that puts you down in the field.
And depending on what class of character you choose, for example, like the scouts have a whole lot of action points that they can use, so they have they can cover a lot more ground, but their rifle is, not too far range, and then not too up close either. So they're kind of in between. And then you have your shock trooper like Raz. So he has kind of like heavy artillery rifle.
Yeah, he has a machine gun. He loves spraying bullets everywhere. That's his thing. That's his jam. Although right now he's being a healer to his best friend, childhood friend Kai.
I like their dynamic a lot, too.
Yeah. I wouldn't say best friend. I suppose Claude's his best friend. But Kai is definitely a major person in his life.
We covered the scout, we covered the shock trooper. Kai is the sniper, so of course does some sniping.
Yep.
And then we have your tank, which is kind of self-explanatory.
Yep. Claude is commanding the tank. And then his underclassman, Miles from the academy, he's piloting it.
All right. Okay, cool. And then we've got the Lancer, which are basically best for taking down enemy tanks.
Correct. In fact, the literal Japanese name for them is actually not Lancer. It's like anti-tank fighter or anti-tank soldier.
Okay, cool. And then last but not least, we have the Grenadier, who they can blow stuff up.
We don't actually. So the poor engineers. They get a lot of well, they're actually more useful in this game.
Oh, really?
Well, they were always useful, but they are trickier to learn because they behave kind of like scouts, but they don't have quite the range, and they're not quite as strong. They're good as a support class.
Repairing the tank.
Yeah, repairing the tanks, restocking. Yeah, they can just walk by and magically like replenish people's ammunition. They're pretty cool in that regard. So it's always nice in a larger mission you really want to, especially if you're going to be using a tank, you want an engineer hanging around that
For
tank.
sure. Yeah, not only for repairing the tank if you take damage, but yeah, when you're going to start running out of ammo, you want to make sure you're fully stocked. Will there be multiple missions in one chapter?
Yes, yeah. There are certain chapters. A lot of chapters have around like 2 missions. So sometimes 3. It's just, and in fact, the missions themselves might change in the middle of, you know, the like the mission goals objective might, you know, change halfway through. So there are lots of different variations on what goes on here.
So more about the game itself, and so aside from these classes that you have, you basically, Gallia is being invaded by the Empire.
Yes.
And they want to fight back for their homeland. And in order to do that, you have all these young people who kind of have to rally to the cry of their country and save it. So. And
technically, this isn't even. A lot of these soldiers are Gallians, but not all of them. And they're actually working for the Federation because they developed a grudge for the Empire against the Empire early. So they actually went and joined the Federation Empire,
okay, cool.
So the Atlantic Federation of Europa, and
it's a little bit wider spread than Gallia.
Yeah. So this is far east of Gallia, where the events of Valkyria Chronicles 1 are taking place simultaneously. This is a separate story, being told they're going deep into the heart of the Empire. These are all Imperial targets.
And so right now, our objective, so I know we have like that capture point right there.
That's a camp. That's sort of a medium capture point. The actual objective is to get up to that glowing spot here, where they're trying to capture a howitzer that the Empire is using that could be useful to the Federation. But as you can see, we got some artillery here. We got some snipers. So I think sniper v sniper is always a good match. So I think I will get her a little closer. And she's like, yeah, 2 can play this game. Let's find out.
Is that actually what she
said? No, well, she might, yeah. She says various things. Oh, that was a leader. Yes, so they have 1 less command point now. So
the more command points you take off of the enemy team, the less turns that they have.
Correct.
So it just works in your advantage to take them out early. Cool, so now that we captured this point, what kind of benefits do we get?
So there are like defense benefits you get to being around a camp, and there are also, you can once you are at a camp, you can for instance, you can pull a unit off the field for free, or for the cost of 1 command point, you can bring new units out onto the field. So I have a bunch of reserve units here, such as there's our engineers, Olard, Rebecca, some extra snipers, no extra grenadiers now, because right now this is part of Riley's introduction. But as the missions go on, then you get more and more extra grenadiers as well. We could use a new scout.
So we are running low on time. We've got about 3 minutes left. So let me make sure to grab any more questions before we have to sign off. Andrew understands Japanese? Yes.
Hi, minasan yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Yes, he's our guide through this game, because he can understand everything that's on the screen right now. Ooh, yeah, he does not care.
He does not care.
Like,
shock troopers have high defense, so they can
cool.
often. Let's right at the head. Yep.
He says good night.
Yep. Get him out of the way there.
Do you happen to know for PlayStation, PS4 Pro, and Xbox One X, is there any optimizations there? Are they compatible on those?
So generally it's more of like a resolution boost. So the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X can display at higher resolutions. So that's more or less what it is. It doesn't otherwise behave a lot differently. So you can get a good experience with either set of
Nice.
hardware.
Oh, cool. That's good to know. Oh yes, and so you know, before we sign off, I want to make sure
Sure.
too, if you guys want to check out a little bit more about the game, if you're wanting to get your pre-orders in, sooner rather than later, be sure to check out valkyria.sega.com.
And we have a lot more to show in the coming months, so I am
Yes.
super excited.
Yeah.
This is gonna be really
I'm
awesome.
excited about those
I know. When I first heard
dubs.
I was gonna be it's gonna be on this. I was like, oh, we're doing the thing.
Yeah.
We're doing the thing that the good thing. So
Yeah, I was a
It
pretty
turned out really
huge
well.
Valkyria Chronicles 1 fan, so I'm really excited about this.
yes, I came to it a little later, and I was like, dang, I missed the trick. This is really nice.
And let's see, is there any news on if it's for the Switch? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's going to be 3
Yep.
platforms.
It'll be coming to Switch in fall 2018,
Mm-hmm.
which is also, of course, spring for our Australian fans who we love.
Yes.
And he likes girls, which gives him some strength. All right, let's see if
He's
he can
feeling
take
extra confident. Okay,
Nice.
good, because he's about to die.
Yeah, he's about to die there. But he's a gambler. This is
Oh, right.
this is literally what he does.
He's a gambling guy.
Yep, he's a gambling man. And
He's like, it's just a flesh wound.
yep,
We did it. Okay,
we did
cool.
it. So, yeah.
All right, that looks like
That
we're
was a
at
portion of-
time.
sure.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, we're going to have more news coming up in the coming months. So we'll keep you posted. Keep an eye out. And we will talk to you guys soon.
See you guys again soon.
Bye. Whoops.
思い描いたのは戦場と人生。戦争という世界観へ自分自身も没入して物語にキャラクターに命を吹き込んでいく。大きな流れに翻弄されその中で友情